Home boxing. After months of accusing Tyson Fury of cheating, Deontay Wilder chooses silence by Chris Mannix, June 16, 2021. For months Deontay Wilder, the former heavyweight champion, has dragged Tyson Fury's name through the mud. He has accused Fury, without evidence, of loading his gloves for their February 2020 fight, a fight that ended with Fury stopping Wilder in the 7th round. He has accused Fury, without evidence, of manipulating his gloves. He has accused Fury, wait for it, without evidence of intentionally scratching his inner ear, causing it to bleed. On Tuesday, Wilder and Fury met in Los Angeles for a press conference to promote their July 24 heavyweight title fight. It was the first time the two had been in the same room since Fury's shocking knockout win. It was Wilder's chance to confront a man he has accused of some of the most serious cheating violations in boxing history. And Wilder said, nothing. Literally nothing. Wilder made a brief opening statement, thanking God, his training staff and his legal team, the last of which played the biggest role in making a third fight with Fury happen, winning a protracted arbitration case and forcing Fury to take a fight he had little interest in. Wilder then sat down, slipped a pair of oversized headphones on his head and for the rest of the 25-minute press conference refused to answer questions. Malik Scott, Wilder's new head trainer, said plenty. A frequent sparring partner of Wilder's, Scott has been elevated to head trainer for this fight. Jay Diaz, who has been Wilder's chief cornerman for his entire professional career, has been demoted. Mark Breland, Wilder's longtime assistant trainer, has been fired. Scott, a journeyman heavyweight 5 years removed from his last professional fight, has taken over. Scott described his relationship with Wilder as a brotherhood. He said the chemistry with Wilder is firing on all cylinders. He said Wilder turned his house into his training facility so he could eat, sleep, and boxing. He said the key to beating Fury was about the mental adjustments he has made to the craft, and that he was confident Wilder would complete the trilogy with a knockout. Wilder, meanwhile, said, nothing. It was bizarre, really. It shows how weak of a mental person he is, Fury said of Wilder's silence. It's not like Wilder has gone completely underground since the Fury fight. He has done interviews with local radio stations and podcasts. In them he has gone down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole, claiming Breland spiked his water bottle and referee Kenny Bayless was drunk. Even after the press conference, Wilder sat down with YouTube videographer Ellie Seckbach in his hotel room. Joe Camporeale/USA Today Sports. Yet when given the chance to confront Fury, Wilder said, nothing. Late Tuesday, I called Wilder's longtime manager, Shelley Finkel, who has been in boxing for more than 40 years. He has worked with Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, and Pernell Whitaker, among others. And he has been with Wilder for most of his pro career. I asked Finkel, what exactly was that? He didn't want to get into it with Fury at the press conference, Finkel told me. What's on his mind right now is just fighting Fury. He said, if Fury wants to talk, let him talk. He just wants to fight. Does Finkel see a change in Wilder? I see someone who is really focused on this fight, Finkel said. He's training like I wish he had earlier. He is training like he has never trained before for a fight. We thought we were going to get the fight months ago. We had to win arbitration to get it. All along he has been training. Full disclosure, I like Deontay Wilder. I've made several trips to Alabama. I've written a couple of magazine profiles. I've sat in a corner booth with him at a Tuscaloosa Waffle House and watched the emotion flicker in his eyes as he recalled his journey to the heavyweight title. Of working as a server at IHOP and Red Lobster, of becoming a Budweiser truck driver, all to help pay the medical expenses of his daughter, Naya, who was born with spina bifida, a congenital disorder of the spinal cord. Of wandering into Diaz's gym at age 20, just a big body with a bigger right hand. Of the journey to the Olympics to the pros to his first championship fight. Of all the skeptics that doubted him along the way. Wilder is unequivocally a success story. His legacy, though, has become complicated. Make no mistake, Fury could be Wilder's last fight. At 35, Wilder is too old to rebuild. He's made a lot of money in his career, he may not want to. And after accusing Fury of every dirty tactic in the book, after pointing the finger at the people around him for conspiring against him, after blaming his ring walk, attire, yup, that was a thing, too, for sapping his leg strength during the fight, Wilder has placed a metric ton of pressure on his shoulder. If Wilder gets knocked out again, and early odds peg an early Fury finish as the most likely outcome, his legacy will come under review. He will likely finish his career with 2 quality wins, both against the same opponent, Luis Ortiz. He will be remembered as the fighter who turned down huge money to fight Anthony Joshua, a fact Wilder, in the aftermath of the Fury loss, admitted to. He will be called a product of a dismal heavyweight era. Fury is Wilder's last stand. Fury was his usual affable self on Tuesday, dismissing Scott's impact on Wilder's fighting style. In a real fight, he's going to revert straight back to type 100%. While pointing out that he has busted the eardrums of both Scott, in a sparring session, years earlier, and Wilder. "You can't teach him to be some great fighter when you weren't," Fury said. "Everyone has a game plan of what they are going to do against me. Until they get in there." Minutes later, Wilder and Fury stood face to face. The stare down, more awkward than intense, lasted more than 5 minutes. As Fury ripped off a few parting shots, Wilder remained silent. On July 24th, we will see whether he is any different. More boxing coverage. Floyd Mayweather is back for exhibitions only. Looking back at C's coverage from boxing's heyday, collection worth millions, tells priceless story of matchmaker's life in sports you may like. Boxing. Wilder chooses silences after months of saying Fury cheated. Wilder has tossed out multiple conspiracies since losing to Fury in February 2020, but he said absolutely nothing when the two sat at a strange press conference.
Now that article sounds exactly like Bruce Vane wrote it. Exactly like it. Those are all the things that I talked about in my video breaking down the press conference. All of it. All that stuff I mentioned. Every bit of it and some. I wouldn't be surprised if they taking a bit off me. Well, I'm not even gonna get into that. This ain't no ego show. You know, but those are all the things that I said. You know, and this actually happens quite often. You know, I'll say something and I'll put it out there and it'll be reflected in the world. Like, I done told you so. This is the same thing that I said. Now, this is what I want to say to Wilder fans. And this is going to be the interesting thing right here. So listen up. Okay? Deontay Wilder had a chance to put, with all these Wilder fans, with all these YouTube minions and his whole YouTube squad out here, he had a chance to put everything that you guys said, listen to me now, everything you guys said on the big stage for the world. Now, let's recall, let's reflect. What was some of the things that Wilder, his team, and his minions was saying? Tyson Fury has cheated, and none of these news or boxing outlets want to pick up the story or talk about it. They are protecting Tyson Fury. Nobody wanted to touch it, right? That's what you guys said, right? Nobody wanted to touch it. Everybody is ignoring the story. Y'all talked about this person. Y'all talked about that person. Y'all talked about this boxing outlet. Talk about that boxing outlet. Everybody else is ignoring this. This shit is unfair. Blase split. And it could have been just that. This is the big problem. When Wilder had the opportunity to put what you guys say these other boxing outlets was ignoring, to put it front stage and center for the entire world, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. So now we're ultimately going to reveal, what are you guys really about? Is it really about the revenue? Is it about the YouTube incentive? That's what it seems like, because I'm gonna tell you something. Nobody would use me like that. You know, I like Anthony Joshua. But if Anthony Joshua came to my channel, said one thing, say, oh, they treat me like this, oh, they treat me like that, blase split. And then he had a chance to address the same stuff that he said on my channel that he said the whole world is ignoring, and he didn't say nothing. I have a problem with that guy. The question is, are you going to have a problem with Wilder? Not just the fact that he sat up there and remained silent. And as I told you, it looked extremely weak, don't it? That's the same thing they said. I should write for Sports Illustrated. Straight up. Matter of fact, I might even look into that shit. Anyways, he had the opportunity. If Tyson Fury cheated, because if that's what really happened, it's some dirty shit. It's some dirty shit. But do you remember what Bruce told you? I said, even if it is true, nothing will ever come of it. Didn't I say that? Nothing will ever come of it. Because if you unearth this situation, it unearths all of boxing's dirty little situations. It wouldn't just stop at Tyson Fury. It's going to go all the way around the board. It's not going to happen. But that's a little bit besides the point. The point is, you guys say that they was ignoring this coverage. They was ignoring this evidence. They were ignoring this. Well, Wilder got on stage and ignored it his damn self. So what do you guys look like now? You're just somebody that he uses, like I guess you guys use him. So I guess it's a perfect little relationship. I'm guessing. But when you guys go over to these channels, because I don't go over to these guys' channel, I don't do that no more. I stick to what I like, and I really don't care what other people got going on their channels, because everybody has a preference, and they're allowed to indulge and engage and listen to whatever tickles their fancy. But I know a lot of you guys that come to my page, you guys go over there, you guys talk with them, okay? Well, let Bruce send you with a lunch over there to give him something to eat on, okay? Bring it up. Wilder had the chance to address all the stuff that you said these other boxing outlets was ignoring. And when he had the chance to put it up front for the world to reveal, to say, and to confront the man who cheated him, who hired his ex-trainer to spike his water, who's done all this, he said nothing. There ain't nothing you can say. But I like to see you chew on it for a minute. So take that over there to them. Because I want to hear the excuse that y'all come back with and tell me what they said. I really do. Somebody do it and come back to me. Because I would really like to hear it. How you going to explain that? If you claim it's some conspiracy and people are against them and this, that, and I'm not saying there's people there that are not against Wilder. There obviously that people are against Wilder for other reasons. We all know that. But the main point, the main meat and potatoes is Wilder had a fucking chance to put it out there to the world, and he didn't do it. He sat there, as Sports Illustrated said, with some oversized headphones and in silence. It don't get no weaker than that. And what else has Bruce been saying? Let me say it again. Y'all remember me saying this? When they turn back the pages of time and they look at Wilder's legacy, he's gonna be the laughing stock. What did this Sports Illustrated article just say? When they look back on Wilder's career, his legacy is going to be under scrutiny. These are all things that I have all said before and years before. I kept saying once they look back at Wilder's resume, he's going to be a laughing stock. Okay? It ain't no doubt about it. Well, that day is here now. But give and take, Wilder could beat Fury. I'm not second guess that. And if he can, good for them. You know, good for him and his minions. Good. Good. You won't catch me being overzealous and hating. You know what I'm saying? Whoever wins, wins. I keep saying that. You know, so if he wins, congratulations and good for him. You know, but don't expect him to go into no undisputed fight with Anthony. The man turned down $120 million. They brought that up too. But the main reason for this video is this. If they were ignoring the situation with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury and cheating, why didn't Deontay Wilder speak when it was the biggest platform that it could be heard on across the world because everybody watched that press conference. Why didn't he do it? Why didn't he do it? Bruce Vane, I'm out.